All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December the 13th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. What checks out, Mr. Samurai?
That's the 13th.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That is check out.
We have done 4 shows in the last week.
We have.
We've been busy little beavers.
It's been fun.
It has been.
It's been fun.
What are you eating?
It's ice cream day.
Happy National Ice Cream Day, everybody.
Yep. It's also National Cocoa Day.
Happy National Cocoa Day, everybody.
But I wasn't going to make cocoa, so I did this.
I actually almost made cocoa.
Really?
But cool. Yeah, but you know what? I would have just gotten into drinking cocoa, and then I want to go back to beer. I would have had to do it. I would have had to have done it at the end of the show. So,
and you'd have to drink like stouts and pastry stouts after.
Yeah, I don't want to not having that. That's not
good. No, you'll gain a lactose intolerance.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, one of my favorite things to do. I mean, vanilla ice cream. One of my favorite things is vanilla ice cream is hot fudge, but I don't have hot fudge. But what's really good to do is Ovaltine on it.
Ovaltine on vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's actually pretty damn good.
Do you know what I need? You know what I would need in order to do that? Right now?
Ovaltine and ice cream.
And vanilla ice cream, right? Exactly. Exactly. I got the ball. I got that covered. So, but other than that, all right. So, how are you on this fine evening?
So many jokes there.
I know. I just leave it alone.
Yeah.
How are you on this fine evening?
I'm good. I'm thirsty.
Recovering from Saturday?
I recovered from Saturday on Sunday.
That's good.
Yeah. Have you recovered from Sunday?
From Sunday, I just don't even want to talk about Sunday. But I mean,
I'm surprised you wore the hat today.
Well, it's it's one of the holiday shows. I have to keep wearing the hat for the holiday shows, and of course a holiday T-shirt too.
I did get some. Yes, it is a holiday movie.
Duke and Duke.
We're not
arguing over brokers. Absolutely.
I did get a holiday hat.
A holiday hat.
I did get a holiday. You got a minute? Hold on.
Yeah, go get
seconds. I'll be right back.
He's going to go get his holiday hat. I wonder what it could be. Do you think it's a Santa hat? Or you think it's something? No, I think it's more Dave. Yeah. Here he comes. Sounds like he's coming back. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. I was right.
There's my holiday hat.
There you go.
I just don't know if this is going to work with all this.
You should put the headphones on and then put the hat over it.
Yeah, but the thing is so thick I can't hear anything.
I know. It's not going to work, yeah. Well, we've seen it. That's good enough.
Not working.
We're all happy. Yeah. All right. You could have just showed us.
No, but they got the whole effect with it on. With the ears and all
that was
that
nice
stuff.
Though.
Yeah. So
you know what you would look good wearing with that hat?
With that hat.
With that hat.
What?
A skirt.
A skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. There are elves that wear pants, and there's elves that wear skirts. They all drink cocoa.
They all drink cocoa, right?
I wonder if they do a lot of what you call it.
What's that?
A lot of woodwork and all that, and making toys and all that. So you think they wear a utility skirt, or
I think they would be like a utility skirt. They'd have pockets in the skirt that they can hold things in, right?
Yeah, made of a good durable fabric of some sort.
Utility kilt, if you were.
Utility kilt. Yeah, I guess that would work.
Right.
Especially for the elves that identify as men.
I wish we had an authority on the topic.
Yes, I know a guy.
All right, why don't we bring him on then?
Bring him on. Hold on, we need to use some elven magic.
There you go,
like that, and bring him on.
There he goes. All right. We're not worthy.
Not at all.
Nice.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Joe Fisher.
Hey, thanks for having me.
At Man
Joe
Skirt
Fisher,
Brewing.
I know him.
An elf reference. And since you called me out on my utility kilt, wanted to make sure that I'm representing.
Absolutely.
That is. There you go. Love this.
I've got a few others
festival
in the background over there.
There you go. They're hanging up. I see them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one that's leather, right?
Oh no, I wish I can't afford a leather kilt. Are you kidding me?
You don't have one for those special nights?
He owns a brewery. He can't afford a leather kilt.
You beat me to the punchline. Thank you.
So,
how y'all doing tonight, huh?
Pretty good. Dave, are you wearing your skirt?
I'm actually wearing gym shorts.
Oh, yeah.
That's as close as I could get. I could cut the crotch out. It'd be a skirt.
I was going to say, just take a scissor, just cut the crotch out. You got a skirt. There you go.
Yeah.
I may or may not be wearing a skirt.
Or pants.
I'm not going to tell you, though.
Or anything.
Might have a poodle on it.
Poodle?
It might. It might not.
Poodles of poodles?
Poodles of poodles.
Anyway.
Poodles of poodles.
All right. Yeah, how are you on this fine evening, sir?
You know what? I'm doing pretty great. Thank you. I'm stuffing a bunch of beer in my face, sitting around listening to people outside in the brewery. Could be worse.
It could be worse.
That's
it
a
could
good
be
night.
worse. What are you drinking?
I am drinking my Czech Pilsner.
Nice.
Which is, I call it my favorite beer-flavored beer.
Yes.
Beer-flavored beer is always good.
Yes.
I enjoy beer-flavored beer thoroughly.
It is my favorite thing. I came up drinking German lagers and English ales, and so beer-flavored beers are kind of where my heart lies. So that's the kind of stuff I love to make.
As do I, and I agree with you 100%. Wholeheartedly.
And one of my favorite beer-flavored beer styles is Czech lagers.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, Pilsner Urquell was my inspiration for this beer, and it's one of my favorites.
And I loved that back in the day. And then the wall came down. They upgraded all their tanks, and it's still a great beer, but it's not what it was.
No, it's like Rolling Rock when InBev took them over and destroyed the glass line tanks at Latrobe.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. Heartbreaking.
It is. It is. It really is. It really is. Dave, speaking of beer-flavored beer, what is your first beer tonight?
It's not a beer-flavored beer, actually. it's more along the lines of a cobbler flavored beer in a sense. Right. So what I'm drinking here is Hudson Valley Brewery's Silhouette.
Ooh, Hudson Valley. I like their beers though.
Oh yes, this is a brunch style sour IPA.
A brunch style.
Maybe brunch strudel style because it's apples and cinnamon.
With all due respect to Hudson Valley Brewing, I'm going to go on record and say there's no such thing as a brunch style. I'm gonna go science here. There's no such thing as a brunch style.
And you got to whip them off and go, that's science.
That's science. Right.
There's nothing more. There's no better way to punctuate a statement when you're wearing glasses than whip them off.
Exactly. So, well, how is it? Oh, look at that. There you go. You're drinking it already. I'm going to actually kick off my beer with the beer-flavored beer, if you will. German style.
Nice.
Local sourced ingredients, and it's actually right here. That source Kulzbach.
Okay. So you made a trip down after he told you that he would be canning it soon. After maybe, because we saw him on Saturday. Maybe I did.
I was down there a few months ago. Nice facility down there. Really big.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, they do have it. It is nice there. I got to take the obligatory picture here. Hold on.
We got to witness his wife destroy another guest at Birdsmouth Brewing with a milk tube.
Oh yeah,
she just flat out. He wasn't even half done, and she was bam.
And this guy drinks beer too.
Oh yeah, he's
many beers, a lot of it often, and Greg's wife just. We should have went live with that.
Yeah, we should have. She wasted them. It was amazing.
So cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers to beers.
To beers.
Oh, that's a nice beer. I love a good Bach.
Yeah. We have, I don't know have you ever had Spaten Optimator?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite Doppelbocks in the world. And I've set out to recreate it here. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I have a Doppel on tap. That's my best attempt at it. It's called Tumlauts because it has two umlauts. And and it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice if I do say so myself.
Nice. Very good.
It doesn't have that thousands of year German heritage je ne sais quoi. But I feel like it's a really good homage to the beer, at least. I'm very happy with it.
It's just two French words in that statement about a German beer.
I'm very European over here.
Exactly.
Ever so continental.
Absolutely. You got to be continental when it comes to that. So anyway,
it's better than being incontinental.
You don't want to be incontinental. That's speaking of being. Never mind.
I had a rough day. Leave me alone.
A rough day. Exactly. So, tough lunch.
All right. I've got to roll down here. I'm good.
You got it. There you go. Okay. Anyway. All right.
Thank you.
Let's kick off the questioning here for Joe. Let's kick it off like we do with everybody else, and I'm excited for this for his answer to this one. First question we ask everybody is: what is to your best of your recollection? What's the first craft beer you ever remember having?
Oh, I'm gonna say, wow, craft beer. I was gonna say the first beer that I had that wasn't like a macro was Guinness. After that, I'm Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. That was a big one for me. That was like one of my formative beers, and still one of my favorites.
Nice.
That's very understandable. That kicked off so much in this country.
Yeah, really, and it's still just a solid beer. It's one of those beers that if I'm at a party or something, I see it in the cooler, I'm just grabbing that beer. Yeah, it's so good.
I used to travel for work all the time, and often where I was working were in like higher end malls, so it's really hard to find craft beer in high end malls. But in some of the higher end malls, you'd have California Pizza Kitchen, and me and the IT guy would eat there a lot because we knew we could get a Sierra Nevada Pale there.
Sure.
Every single one of them pours Sierra Nevada Pale.
Right.
And through the years, no matter where you go, it doesn't change. They are so consistent. Such a good beer.
Sierra Nevada Pale is an amazing beer.
I do miss this beer, though.
I don't think I've ever had Tumbler. What kind of beer is it?
It was their Fall Brown Ale.
Brown Ale was very good beer. Tumblers was a good beer.
Nice.
Really good beer.
Oh, I do love a good brown ale.
I'd love to see them bring it back.
In fact, one beer that I had once from them, because to the best of my knowledge, they only did it once, was the beer that they did for the
beer camp.
Alt Root. It was an alt beer. It was really good.
Alt beer is such an underrepresented style these days.
Absolutely.
I actually just killed mine. I had my Alt F4 on tap for a while, and we just ran out of it. But I
like that.
Who's the only other? What is it? Double Bag, I think. Long Trail.
Double Bag is it's an alt beer. Yeah,
that's an alt, right? There's so few commercial examples of it, and it's such a nice, approachable German style of beer. It's a wonderful thing.
It's one of my favorites. Story we've said on the show a couple of times, just to tell you. We were up in Portland last summer, 2021, and you've been to Portland. Have you been to Navarre Res, Joe?
I'm sorry.
Have you been to Portland? You've been to Navarre Res?
No.
Okay. Navarre Res beer bar, big beer bar, right in downtown in Old Port in Portland. And David had never been there, and he's heard me talk and a lot of other people talk. You got to go there. You got to go there. The beer's ridiculous. The beer list is ridiculous. We get there, every beer he ordered, they were out of.
Yeah.
Just one after the other. Finally, I said, "All right, I'm having you reach, stick alt." She says, "Perfect." I go, "Great, they have it." Well, she went back and got it. Dave says, "You know what? I'll have one of them too." She came out, handed me mine. I start pouring it. He says, "I'll have one of those too." She says, "That was the last one."
That's the best, because then you can just rub it in his face, like.
He did. To his credit, he offered me some.
I gave him,
but at that point, I was so damn sold. I'm like, no, I'll just sit here and suffer. In their defense, it was just coming out of COVID. So they were really, really low on their distribution.
There was a lot not getting to be restocked there. Now obviously it's all back to normal. But
and I should probably not plan to go back there so we don't risk another world event.
Right. Yeah.
That will keep them from getting beer.
Exactly. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Exactly. I make sacrifices for that.
Yeah. Thank you for your sacrifice.
All right. So what got you originally into brewing beer? What made you start brewing beer?
It was one of those things where I was an engineer for a long time. I was a computer programmer for 17 years before I quit to run this place. And I just kind of wanted to know how to make beer. I do a lot of hobbies, woodworking. You were just talking about woodworking and elves. I am an elf and I have a wood shop. So I do a ton of hobbies. And I wanted to know how to make beer. So I went to...
You should have my hat.
I was thinking about that. I don't have a cute hat. It's my dumb head.
This is cute. This is cute until you put it on me.
Yeah.
And then you ruin it. So I got a bucket. I got Charlie Papazian's Joy of Homebrewing, of course, like everybody does.
Relax and have a homebrew.
Exactly. Relax. Don't worry. Have a homebrew. And I got a red ale kit. And that was how it started.
From where?
from Corrado's in Clifton.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Because all of the homebrew shops had closed. This is 2008, so there were Corrado's was the closest thing to me in New Jersey, and I'm way the hell out west here in Hackettstown.
My first brew kit actually came from a brew store in Morristown. Was it Ivy and Hop?
Hop and Vine.
Hop and Vine. That was it.
Yep.
Hop and Vine.
Yep. They were closed by the time, like 2008. Yeah.
They were a good store.
They were a good store.
That's what I heard. They were a good store.
I had gotten some stuff from Corrado's over the years. They had some good stuff there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they were more wine focused, but they had plenty of home brewing stuff, and so I just started brewing first in my kitchen. I did one batch in my kitchen, had a boil over.
I was going to say, how many boil overs?
Right. And then I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. They had a sale on turkey fryers. I got a turkey fryer in a 7-gallon pot for $40.
There you go.
And I started brewing on my back porch, and it got completely out of control and became a brewery. So 2008 to like 2013 is when I actually incorporated Man Skirt Brewing. When I made it an LLC, and then 2015 we opened. So hence the 7-year anniversary.
Lucky 7.
Speaking of which, excuse me, I gotta drank my beer, so it's time for the 7th sour.
The 7th sour.
Yeah. So
are those cherries on there?
No, those are dice.
Dice. Okay, now I see it.
Lucky 7.
This is why I tend to wear these.
I was going to say, you need my glasses. I mean,
no, I've got mine.
Either Lucky 7 or 7 out, depending on where you are on the craps roll.
There you go.
So this is a Berliner Weiss, and we flavored it 2 ways. This is the passion fruit guava version, and we also have a cranberry pear version.
Nice. Ooh, that's
nice.
We may be needing to take a trip out to Hackettstown soon.
I might have to get up that way.
Problem is, it's a bit of a haul, and you just being a couple doors down from Matt.
Well, that's the thing. We got Zigmeister right down the block. You got Jersey Girl right up the street. Now we got Buttsville 10 miles away.
Yeah, Buttsville's not far away, and Chilton Mill's not far away either.
Chilton Mill and Mike Peachy is making amazing beer down there. He's definitely worth the trip.
And if you're going into Buttsville, the Buttsville Brewing, stop at Hot Dog Johnny's.
Yeah.
My oldest
a lot of
son,
good stuff.
I had to get him a shirt from there because he would always tell people about going to Buttsville for wieners.
As one does.
Yes.
Of course.
And they're like, wieners, yeah, they do hot dogs and buttermilk.
Hot dogs and buttermilk. Buttsville for wieners.
I've never understood that.
So a lot of good beer out there. We'll actually talk about that. I actually want to bring that up to you in a little bit. But all right, so 2013 you incorporate. You decided. Now, was it just because you were just doing so many home brews? You're like, I got to make a career out of this. I got to open a brewery. I mean, were there any other extenuating circumstances? Anything?
Or were you just so sick of your job?
There were a ton of extenuating circumstances. Part of it is that I always wanted to have a brick and mortar business of my own. My dad, also Joe Fisher, he had an auto parts store on Staten Island for 35 years. That's where I grew up. And I managed that store for him for a long time. So I had a lot of experience running a business, which was great. And I always wanted my own brick and mortar store, but I never knew what it was going to be. And then I realized that I had a passion for brewing. I had a talent for brewing. And it just felt so up my alley. It felt really natural. I have a very close friend, Kate Munning, who helps me out with the brewery still. She wanted to do a commercial kitchen, like a co-op kitchen idea, where you could lease kitchen space for people who wanted to make jam and cakes and sell it and that sort of thing. And we thought we could do some kind of combined space for that. Nice. So that was like a real push for me. And that part of it didn't work out. But the brewery continued ahead, and that's kind of how I got here.
I got a question about it. We've brought it up to at least one guest that I remember, but we don't touch upon this enough because you mentioned you have had a passion for brewing. there's that statement: "Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life."
Of course.
And the first person we put that question to, I think her reply was, "That's absolutely a crock of shit."
That is horse shit. It's such horse shit.
Well, let's.
Every day I work like 6 days of my life. It's insane.
See that statement, while it does hold true to some extent in this business, not so much.
No,
but at least you're not going to hate the work that you're doing.
That's the thing. I worked in like I said, I was a computer programmer for 17 years. The last 5 years, I worked for the Department of Defense. I worked at Picatinny Arsenal, and it's soul crushing. It was an easy job, great paycheck, awesome benefits. I used my degree, also excellent. But like here, this is nourishing. I get to drink my product. I get to make people happy. I get to meet all of my wonderful customers. Like, yeah, I'm killing myself. I'll probably die at 60, but I'm enjoying myself, and like that's pretty great. There's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
Now, as the final years as the engineer, how often did you have to use Alt F4 when the boss came around?
Constantly. Absolutely constantly. Although I have to say, I'm not to steal your joke here or anything, but my boss, Dave, at Picatinny, was the most supportive boss ever. I told him that I wanted to open a brewery, and I continued working for him for about 2 years before I opened the place. And not only was he supportive of my idea and of moving on from him, but he contributed to my Kickstarter campaign to get the brewery started.
Oh, then I may have met him because I was with Gene at the Kickstarter party.
Oh, well, you probably did meet him.
I probably met him then. Oh, that was a good time. Good. Oh man, the Italian food was so good. So good.
Was that Mama's? Did we? I think
yeah,
we
it was Mama's,
right?
Yeah, you brought in Mama's. And for those,
no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, for those of you who don't know, Alt F4 is pretty much the boss button. It just will flip to a screen other than the game that you're playing on
the
your
one
screen.
you're on. Yeah.
Right. The idea was
quickly
that
close it.
Alt F4 closes a window. So it was closing the window on my programming career as my window on the brewing career opened up.
Open. There you go.
Like that.
Very good analogy. I like that. We got one comment here from some guy named Gene Lynch. It looks like Gene Lynch.
Lynch.
He said,
Gene.
No!
You mention him and he appears. This was only once.
Man.
It's only once. He only needs it once. That's it. Gene only needs you to mention him once. So.
That's it.
So
good to see you, Gene.
Needed a palate cleanser before my next beer because this apple cinnamon sour IPA going into a coffee porter is not the best.
Probably not a good segue, yeah.
No, but maybe I'll have a Ritz cracker in the middle.
There you go. Probably
everything tastes better when it sits
on a Ritz.
Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
God, we're all so susceptible to advertising. It's terrible.
It's so true.
Speaking of advertising, here comes a shameless plug for our sponsor.
There you go.
Nautical Twilight.
There you go.
Porter by Coastal Brew Works.
There you go.
Look at that logo. This is a beautiful can. I love this can.
I actually have a soft spot for that. I don't know if you can see here, but I also have a nautical star.
Oh yeah, with a trident that looks more like a malting fork.
Well, yeah,
no.
that's actually my.
Yeah.
It's my mash paddle.
That's the mash paddle. Yes, the mash paddle. That's
there
it.
You go.
There you go. So
lost my terminology there. But why the nautical star with it?
The nautical star is because I wanted a traditional dagger through the compass rose sort of tattoo. Like I said, I grew up on Staten Island. My grandfather was a merchant marine, and I grew up basically on his boat on the island. So the whole reason that we have an octopus as our mascot is because I have this octopus tattoo with a beer glass and a ship on top of the foam with a little flag up there. And that kind of speaks to my upbringing on the ocean.
Nice.
Gotta love meaningful tattoos like that.
Gotta love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Gene
meaningful and beautiful.
Exactly.
Very colorful.
Gene just commented on, as far as you said, as your comment. We mentioned his name. He appears. He says he's the Beetlejuice of the New Jersey craft beer scene.
No, we didn't have to say it 3 times.
We didn't have to say it 3 times.
It did not need to be said thrice.
No. Other people, yes. Gene, not so much. There you go. All right. So, Joe, you incorporated in 2013. So it took 2 years before you opened your doors.
Right.
And of course, if people don't know, you are anybody that doesn't know, you're in Hackettstown, but you're not only in Hackettstown, you're in a building that's formerly a bank.
Yes, absolutely. We still have the vault here. It's now the merch vault. So you can go in there and check out all of our shirts and hats and glassware.
There you go.
Oh, and John knows I am a sucker for glassware.
No, you're not.
Also me. I have a problem.
I have a big problem with it too. Dave doesn't have a problem with it because most of his glassware is where?
In a box. In storage.
In
but
storage.
That's the problem because I can't see it. I don't realize what a problem that I have. I just keep buying more.
This is the thing.
Behind the screen, there is a box that is shelves that are meant to go over a toilet, but it's going to go over my beer fridge. So I've got a place to put my glasses. I'm putting it together tomorrow.
You know what? You should get another one and just put it over your toilet so you can have more space for your glasses too.
There you go. Yeah, because there'll be a nice aroma wafting through those things.
Exactly.
You never know when you're going to need them in the bathroom.
Every glass every beer you pour into those glasses is going to have a nice little wang to it.
Yeah, a little wang. You know what? Actually, I might take the kegerator out of storage. That might be the only place we can fit the thing. Is in the bathroom. So maybe you got something there.
There you go.
Yeah. If there's ever a time when you need a drink, it's when you're in the bathroom.
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah,
I think you're onto something. So
I was on it a lot today.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So now the question on anybody's mind that doesn't know your beer, doesn't know you, if they're watching from another state, whatever, they're listening or whatever, they've heard us talking about skirts. If you haven't figured it out yet, utility kilts or Utila kilts, as we were talking about before. Joe, why don't you tell us about them and your passion for them and the reason you named your brewery, why you named it that way.
So this company is Utila Kilts. They are out of Seattle, I believe. Utilakilts.com. They have been making these man skirts for a little over 20 years now. And back in the day, I have some very close friends who are blacksmiths by trade.
Oh.
And not only are they blacksmiths and silversmiths, but they also do Celtic reenactment, like ancient Celtic reenactment. So we would always go, run around with our...
Do they sacrifice animals dressed like Druids?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Of course.
I just want to make sure. I want to see how
Why would you
authentic
even ask that question? I mean,
I want to see how authentic they were.
That's my Wednesday night. We're very close, and we would always be running around wearing like traditional great kilts with the whole 9 yards of fabric, literally. And Daniel came to me and he said, "Joe, this company Utila Kilts just started making these amazing garments, and they're canvas, and they have pockets, and they have belt loops, and like hooks for your keys and your hammer. We have to get them." And so we each bought one. And I've been wearing them ever since. I have 5 of them now. I wear them as often as I can. And they are tremendously supportive of us as well. I cannot say enough good things about the company.
I was going to say about
the kilt being supportive.
I thought the kilt was going to be tremendously supportive. I'm like, how?
Por qué no los dos, right? Why not both?
One of my favorite stories walking into the brewery once. I walk in and Joe's wearing jeans. Like, why are you wearing jeans? He's like, I am bottling and it was the first barley wine because I'm bottling our first barley wine, which means
a long time ago.
And I'm bottling it from the bottom of the bright, which means I'm doing a lot of bending over. And I wear these kilts, the traditional way. And these are things that my staff does not need to see.
No. I have enough OSHA violations in this place as it is, without wearing a kilt in the brew house.
Without sexual, would be assault, a sexual harassment charge, right?
Oh my gosh.
So,
but yeah, so that's the whole long and short of it. I just they're just so fantastic to wear. They're comfortable. They're breezy, warm at the same time. Weirdly enough, they're pretty great.
Do they make sporns for them?
No, they don't. They do make they make nice belts. This is not one of them, but they do make nice belts. And we were talking about leather kilts earlier. They make some phenomenally beautiful leather kilts that I wish I could afford, but I can't.
Because
Because they're expensive. They're expensive. They're worth it, but they're expensive.
I think Dave was going for
the joke you told us at the beginning of the show. I set you up.
Well, I'm kind of a dum-dum, so I'm sorry about that.
You can't afford a leather kilt because you own a brewery. That's fine.
Oh, it's also $900 friggin' dollars.
See, I thought, Johnny, you were going to take care of that one for me.
True.
Well, that's the old gag. It's like every other industry. You know, how do you make $1 million in the brewing industry? You start with $2 million.
You start with $2 million, right? Very true. Very true.
Wow, I love that they also make stockings to go with your kilts.
Yes, kilt hose, absolutely. And you have to have flashes to hold up your kilt hose. Very important. If you're going to additional.
Well, wait a second.
I
thought
they were groupies.
Oh no!
Oof.
All right.
Yeah, we went there.
All right, I had to be said. I'm joking. You know, I'm joking.
Okay, so I am
just trying to see where HR is. She's keeping an eye on me.
HR's walking up the stairs right now, mad that I just said that.
Wow, man.
By HR, I mean Jess, but that's besides the point.
Here's the best thing: the leather kilt on Utility Kilts is $777. It is your 7th anniversary of the brewery. With it being 777, you've got good. I think you treat yourself. But the best part about it is there are exactly 7 customer reviews.
So there's 7 customer reviews on a leather skirt that's $777, and this is Joe's 7th anniversary. Gene, get on that.
Yeah, you work for a law office. Let's scratch.
You gotta love it. All right.
I smell another Kickstarter coming up.
There you go.
Although we're not allowed to do Kickstarters anymore.
No, you can't. No more.
Not to support the brewery, but
right
to support your. You can do a Kickstarter to support your kilt habit. That's legal.
I guess. I guess that's fair.
That's totally legit. You can do that.
Please give me money so I can buy more things that I like.
Exactly. Yes. So I can buy a leather kilt. John, exactly. by the way, before we move on, this is freaking delicious. This is almost espresso in a glass with maybe just a hint of cream. No, not even. This is the roast of this. It's funny because I talked to Joe earlier about, and we're going to get into it a little bit more when we start talking about some of his beers and stuff. But the Great Porter, what I love about it is just it's such a roast wallop to your mouth, but that's not a coffee porter. This is a coffee porter, so this porter's got that roastiness to it, but it also's got the roast of the coffee, and it's just. If you like roasty porters, get your hands on one of these. This is nice. I like it a lot.
Well,
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Well, thank you very much. Yes. I will pass that along to Matt and Jim, although you just told Jim too, because I think he's watching right now. So
yes, he probably is.
But in any event, all right. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's actually talk about the beers. That was my next question to you.
Yeah.
You started out with. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's dial it back to 2015. You opened a door. What were the beers you opened with?
Oh, we can go back to the. Let me start the show with this. Yes.
So I opened with 3 beers, and in my business plan, I never thought I would have more than 3 beers. I have 12 on tap right now, as well as 10 flavors of hard seltzer. So things have changed a little bit.
I could have sworn that when you opened, you had more than 3 taps.
No, it was just 3. Yeah, we had the Gold Bar Blonde.
Yes, I remember.
Which has its own story. I'll tell you that in a second. But the Gold Bar Blonde, the Better Than Pants, my English bitter, and the Great Porter. Those were the 3 beers that I opened my doors with. And the Gold Bar Blonde was originally named Bank Vault Blonde. Mm-hmm. And I got an email from, I think it was Jason at Vault Brewing down near Philly. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Hey,
Yardley,
right? At another brewery built in a bank."
Yes, and also making excellent beer. And oh my God, their food! They have
It was great.
Buffalo cauliflower. Oh,
you know what? You know what? That's an amazing concept. In Pennsylvania, they have
food in a brewery.
Food.
Don't get me started. I'm having a nice day. Don't get me angry. But so he contacted me and he's like, "Hey, listen, we kind of have a Vault Blonde. Can you maybe change the name?" I said, "Sure, no problem." So Gold Bar Blonde was born. So we have Gold Bar Blonde, Better Than Pants, and our Great Porter. That was what we opened with.
Very nice.
The Better Than Pants. Yeah, the Better Than Pants better. That was. They were. I mean, those were the first three that I had. Clearly, obviously, because they're the first three I had. But all three of them were great. I actually I think I had the blonde first, and then the bitter, and then the porter, and then I went back to the bitter, and then the porter, and the bitter, and the porter, and then the bitter again, and then I left.
I think I went Gold Bar Blonde, the bitter, the porter, the porter, the porter, the porter, and maybe another porter before I left.
And then the porter.
There you go.
That's very possible. Gene was there. I think he knows how many porters I went through that
Gene
night.
just he wrote down. He cataloged it.
Did he? Yeah, he does that.
He does that.
No, and Joe's heard me say this many, many times, and I'll say it here for the record now. The Great Porter to me is the most portery porter I've ever. Not portered, because I guess I've carried around.
The most portery porter you've ever
portered.
Yeah.
Or poured.
Or poured.
Or poured. There we go. That works as well.
Very nice. Very nice.
I appreciate that. I am legally required to call it the Great Porter because of how great it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
he had originally called it the Good Porter. They went, no.
No.
This is not this. This is better than good. What's a word for better than good?
Well, now you know what you got to do, right? You have to make an imperial porter version of it, and call it the best porter.
The best porter.
Right.
It's true.
Or the greater porter.
The greater. Well, I have considered that. I do a Baltic porter, but we call that fully regimental.
Fully regimental.
Are you familiar with that phrase?
Yeah, no, you need to explain that. I'm like, go.
Well, when you were talking about wearing a kilt properly, as a true Scotsman does,
yes,
we call that going fully regimental.
Fully regimental.
Yes, fully regimental.
Fully regimental.
Yeah. There's a joke that goes along with that, which I don't think I can tell on the show. So we're going to let that. Maybe when the show's over, I'll tell that one.
Why? I mean,
it's about.
How are we being rated by the Motion Picture Association?
I don't know, but it's about an Englishwoman walking up into a Scotsman, and he says, "Would you like to feel something?" And she's like, "Sure." He goes, "Put your hand up my kilt," and she puts her hand up there. She goes, "Oh my God, that is gruesome." He goes, "Put your hand up there again. You'll find it gruesome more."
I see what
yeah,
I'm gonna get another beer.
Yeah, another beer on that.
Yes, and I'll tell, and it might be funnier than that.
I'm gonna get one too. Right. Let's leave Dave on the show by himself for a minute.
Yes, I'm just gonna sit here and drink my beer and mind my
What
business. Except we have Better Than Pants. So Joe has a can of Better Than Pants.
Better than Pants.
So he's gone from some Berliner Weisses to a mild, a bitter. It's a bitter. Right?
It's a bitter.
Bitter, best bitter. I do a dark mild. We did that.
I love those.
This year, did it on Nitro, which was really nice.
Ooh.
Right now on Nitro, speaking of coffee beers, we have a coffee milk stout.
Oh, nice.
Excuse me, which I'm very excited about. We call it Bean Counter, and I used Ethiopian Yirgacheffe cold brew from a local roaster.
Very nice.
Yeah, which is really fun.
Yeah, Yirgacheffe is a nice one.
Cheers.
Very nice. Cheers on that. I will. I'm gonna open my second beer. This, depending on how fast I drink it, it might be it, but we'll see. I have a third, but
yeah, I'm drinking. This one's going down very fast. So
it is the holiday season. I always want to have one holiday beer.
That's a fun one. That's a fun beer. Love that beer.
So, gonna have a little of that. All right. So, what was the fourth beer you did?
The fourth beer was the Pfefferbock, which is a peppercorn rye bock.
Mm-hmm.
Was my first seasonal beer that I did, and it almost killed me. I scaled it up from a homebrew recipe.
Did you drink too much of it, or it was just
no brewing it was a nightmare. So
it's rye, right?
Yes. So it came out of Extreme Brews by Sam Calagione. It was a homebrew recipe. I scaled it up to 7 barrels, which is my brewing size here.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I was a home brewer. I'd only brewed at scale 3 times before, right? And it was like 25-30% flaked rye, and it just turned into concrete in the mash tun. And of course, the local homebrew club was there watching me. They wanted to come for the brew. And
talk about a stuck mash.
Oh my God, I did nothing but swear for about 3 hours. And I was here until 1 o'clock in the morning running off. It was like I had a sight glass, and I would wait for the sight glass to slowly fill with wort and then pump it over to the brew kettle. It was insane. It almost killed me. It was a phenomenal beer, one of the best beers I've ever made. It was amazing. But it was a horror show. So yeah, that was the 4th beer.
But never again, or
I made it once after that. I adjusted the recipe a little bit. I learned a little bit,
Oh, okay.
It's fascinating to look back on pictures of my old beers and think about the kinds of beers that I made, and the beer was not that great when I first opened up. Don't tell anybody that. But things have changed.
No one
lot.
listens, so you're good.
Yeah. There's nobody you're telling anybody. Yeah, so
I like to think that I learn a little bit, and I make every batch of beer that I make a little better every single time. And I think over the last 7 years, the quality has really improved a lot.
Look at it this way: the beer was great to begin with. You made it even better. Look at it that way, right?
And
well, that's very generous of you, and I appreciate that.
What's the term for that? Dialing in.
Yes, totally dialing in. I mean, really, no, go ahead, please.
No, please finish.
I was going to say the truth of it is I had no idea what I was doing when I started. Everybody who asks me about starting a brewery, I do not recommend going straight from home brewing to owning your own brewery. It's dumb. I wish I had some commercial experience working at another brewery, getting an idea of how things work at scale, because it is different. It's we're doing the same thing, but the techniques are different. There's a lot to learn. So I got here. I'm very lucky, but I wish I had done it a little differently. Yes, sir.
Lucky 7. There you go. Lucky 7. That I had it the first time you made it. I vaguely remember that story with the stuck mash, but that
was a nightmare.
That was a good beer. But yeah, I mean, and if you do make it again, you need to let me know you made it so I can get up there and
absolutely it's on my list. Yeah. I do have a pepper saison on tap right now. My Crack the Code. Nice. Which is nice. It's not quite the same, but I also have the Tumlaut's doppel on, so I didn't want to do 2 doppels at once.
No, right, of course. I'm getting text here. Matt is sitting on the island.
Oh, this is going to be
on the island of Mexico from Cozumel. He went diving in Cozumel, right? And he's sitting at the only craft beer bar in Cozumel having a flight right now. So he's texting me pictures of the flight.
Is he explaining which beers he's drinking?
Well, no, I've texted him 3 middle fingers so far in emojis, but
must be nice.
There, right? So,
I don't think. Do I have his? I may have to. Let's see if I've got his number.
In any event,
I think I do. There we go.
This is phenomenal. This is one of my favorites. Anishu.
How many middle fingers?
3 so far.
All the middle fingers.
All of them.
Okay.
Yeah. All 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. So there you go. So, so now you have 12 beers on tap.
Mm-hmm. Give or take a little bit.
Give or take. So you generally like to keep around 12 on. Not including your seltzers, of course, but just beers wise, yeah.
Well, because that's what fits on my display board. So I want to make sure that stays full. Like my life is driven by the board that I made to display the beer right now.
I got it.
It's a good boundary.
Yes,
yeah, listen,
absolutely.
I can't come home right now. I gotta brew 2 other beers.
That's it. Empty slots. it's like having empty fermenters. Empty fermenters make me nervous, so I have to fill them with something.
Because they're not making you money.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Very
now,
good.
with the British styles that you do and the Germans, especially the British style, but even to a point, the German styles, ever going to put it in a hand pump?
It's on my list. Yeah. The problem with putting on the hand
before
pump,
or after the leather kilt?
It's probably before. if I have to pick, if it's beer, it comes earlier in the list, pretty much. Mm-hmm. The problem with putting on a hand pump is that you have to have a whole cask program to have a hand pump, because you can't just like throw any beer on it. So the beer has to be prepared correctly and treated right to go on the hand pump. And since I'm the only brewer, I do have an assistant, Danny. It really requires like a dedicated stream of beer, which right now I just don't have the bandwidth to make happen, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of work to have a cask engine and keep it, because you don't want to install that, right, and then have once in a while have something on it.
Exactly.
It's got.
Well, they're notorious for falling apart out of disuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Exactly. When I was first starting to drink local craft beer, the Long Valley Brew Pub right down the road from me next to Chilton Mill, they had a hand pump, and I would always go down there and say, "Hey, what's on the hand pump today?" And then some years later, it just wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And I asked about it, and they said, "Oh, we got tired of cleaning the lines," and they took it out. So,
Matt was completely confused as to why I'm sending him middle fingers.
he texted me like, "What?" So anyway, so he can enjoy Mexico he's coming back tomorrow or Thursday. He comes back.
He's been there for like what, 8 weeks now?
Oh no, 1 week. He went. He's got to research, right? He's got to be underwater a certain amount of time every year.
Yeah,
so he doesn't have to.
You don't have to go to Mexico.
Well, he did. Here's the thing: he didn't want to go dive in the Passaic River, right? So
dive into Peak West.
Hey, exactly right. So, and if he's going to fly somewhere to dive, I get it. If he's going to fly somewhere to dive, it's literally costing him maybe $40 more to go to Cozumel than it would have cost him to go to South Carolina. So
that's fair.
Yeah. Right. He could have dove off the Jersey Shore.
I don't think he wants to do that either.
Yeah, no, who does?
But in any event,
see anything down there.
Exactly. So what is on right now?
Beer-wise?
Beer-wise.
Oh, we've got all kinds of fun stuff.
Exactly.
Like I was just talking about the coffee stout, which is really nice.
Coffee milk stout.
We've got the crack and coat. Oh, I've got a Rauch beer on tap.
You got a Rauch
beer.
on tap?
Oh, I do. Let there be Rauch.
We've got a question for you. I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Go.
Did you always want to do a Rauch beer, or is there a certain Facebook group that's getting more and more popular that spurred you into doing a Rauch?
No, I've been doing a Rauch for years. Schlenkerla was one of my favorite beers in the world, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to bring this beer to the craft brewing scene, and so I did.
So you're the OG in Jersey.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Don Hall.
I'd like to think so, but I'm probably wrong.
We're gonna have John on the show on January 10th,
yeah.
And we are doing smoke beers. And
it's a smoke beer show. It's we're gonna do this week in Rauch beer on the show for January 10th.
John, I'm up to 5 beers now, and if I go out and get a Schlenkerla, I'll be up to 6.
Well, this is gonna be with the two of us and John on the show and all of those beers. It's gonna be an interesting show
because I've got Gretchen's Kachu still.
Oh, that's true. You do have that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I have 4 right now, so I was going to go and get a Schlenkerla too. But
Gretchen did a smoke beer as well.
Gretchen did a smoke beer.
It's called Kachu. The name of it is really cute because it's named after a novelty factory that was in Neptune at one point that invented sneezing powder. So she named it Kachu.
I have to say, speaking of Gretchen is one of the people who was very supportive of me when I first opened and very helpful to me. So she occupies a very warm place in my heart.
And Gene is absolutely correct. And if you listen to Gene, I'll be up to 7 beers on that show.
There you go. Gene just said
Can the Roush.
Can the Roush. But
yeah, and if you let us know if you do, because I will find it. I will find that.
I'm fortunate to see Gretchen more than either of you do. She lives about 5 blocks from me, and
which is about 8 minutes.
Right. So whatchamacallit? It's the brewery's right over here. Yeah. So, but yeah, she's great. She's Gretchen.
She's great. Between her and Angry Eric and Heidi, they were super kind to me when I first started. Answered all my stupid questions.
Now, when you said Angry Eric and Heidi, did you mean the brewery and Heidi, or did you mean Eric, Angry Eric, and Heidi?
I mean, yes, all of those things, together.
They were super kind to you. The rest of the people were assholes.
Basically, yeah.
Pretty much.
That's how it works. No, it's not
it's not at all how this. I talk about this industry all the time. It is such a great. There are so few assholes in this industry. Besides Scott Wells, there are so few assholes in this industry.
And he's a special.
That's a promo. Oh, that's great.
Oh no, it's. I haven't met anyone that I've disliked in this industry yet. It's been, and that's saying a lot. That's really saying a lot.
Yeah,
we're still getting over that comment. That was beautiful.
I know, but it's
Sorry,
true.
Scott.
This industry.
You know I love you.
Don't be.
He's kidding.
Don't be. You don't even know.
That wasn't for me telling Scott. Scott knows you're kidding. That was for me telling everybody else.
The audiences, yes.
I mean, he would be angry if I didn't insult him.
Right. But there's another comment on here. Gene said, "Let there be rock on Nitro." Oh my God, I don't know if that would work. But...
No.
I wonder if I should do that.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a Roush and Nitro.
I don't think so. Ponder that for a minute. I was just going to say, this industry is unlike any other. Okay, it really is unlike any other. Everybody it's a family. It literally is a family. I mean, I have friends in Wisconsin because of craft beer, you know, and I mean, they own breweries and stuff like, you know what I'm saying, but you know, it's like a big family. And what's amazing, and I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. If a bookstore is on one side of the street and they're operating for years, and then all of a sudden they hear another bookstore is going to open up across the street, they're going to be up in arms. They're going to try to do their best to get them, you know, I don't want this to happen. No, they can't. Go to the variance, go to the planning board, whatever.
That was with Andy.
Right. If a brewery is there and another brewery wants to open up across the street, absolutely. In fact, get somebody else to open down the block and around the corner.
And we'll help you mash in your first beer.
Right. And we'll make it a destination.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what this is about.
That's the thing. That's why I was excited to find out that Matt from Zigmeister was opening up down the street. I didn't even know it was happening. I went to the zoning board and I brought my plans. They're rolled up and I handed them to the planning officer, the zoning officer, and he said, "Oh, weird." He pulled Matt's zoning plans off the shelf. He's like, "I have another brewery right here." And it's just exciting because it makes Hackettstown a destination now. Yeah. You know, nobody's going to drive 2 hours to come see my dumb brewery. Mm-hmm. But if there are 3 breweries in the area, there are a lot of amazing restaurants. People are going to drive and they're going to come to see us. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, why would we get mad? Why would we compete? We're all friends here, you know?
All friends.
John, and what's your word?
Co-opetition.
Oh.
It's not competition. It's co-opetition.
I always say it's not competitive, it's collaborative, but I like co-opetition. That's nice. I might co-op that.
Go for it.
I see what you did there.
Have at it.
one of my favorite moments along those lines is sitting in Zigmeister, sitting inside because I think it was like 10 degrees outside. No, it wasn't because you were in a t-shirt. But I just it was too hot outside, so I want to be inside where the fans were. I'm sorry, that one big massive fan that Matt has blowing across the thing. And I look over and there's Joe and Matt sitting at one of the high tops near the front door. And they're just going over I think you guys were going over plans for the next beer festival in Hackettstown.
Like the next Oktoberfest or something.
Yeah, something like that. So it's like, you know, and just to see 2 breweries, like John said, if there are bookstores and they're only 2 blocks apart, you wouldn't see this, but these are two breweries 2 blocks apart, and they're making plans to make sure that this event's a success.
It's an amazing industry. It's unlike any other industry, and I'm so happy to be part of it. I really am.
Really, and this is the thing. It's great not only for us, but it's great for you, the consumer.
I'm the consumer.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love it.
Since we're all so excited about making each other do better, you're gonna get this.
We win
Tremendous variety of product. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say we're all consumers to a point. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah. If you've ever been to a beer festival and been inside the beer festival before the gates open, you will see what consumers brewers are around other brewers.
Yeah.
They're just drinking each other's beer, commenting on it.
That's it.
And just having a great old time. So by the time the doors open, most of the people that are pouring for you are already lit. Know that when you come in.
Yeah. I had the dubious pleasure of the last beer fest that we poured at this year. Joe poured at this year, so we were actually drinking each other's beers. So that was fun. That was a beautiful, wonderful thing.
Nice when that happens.
And I beautiful thing. And John knows I love pouring at beer festivals. I love just being behind the scenes, and also just being able to walk around behind the scenes and just walk up to anybody's tap, going, let's go.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Just a little more, please.
Oh, and now we're on to Dickens. Wow, we're getting highbrow now.
I know we are. Gene has another comment. I think I was thinking if Great Porter on Nitro.
It's great.
Oh, Gene's drinking. Nice.
Really? Oh wow, that's
no.
I know, weird, right?
He never drinks on a Tuesday.
Doesn't happen. Come on.
He never drinks on a Monday. Never drinks on. He doesn't drink. He doesn't drink anymore.
That's just silliness.
He also doesn't drink any less.
You know the joke.
Exactly. So,
oh Lord.
All right. What's in store for the holidays? I mean, I know we're in the smack dab in the middle of them here. We only got 2.5 weeks of the holidays left, but
I've got some fun stuff coming up. I have my Brewed IPA, which is a criminally underrepresented style. Are you familiar with the Brewed?
Oh, sure.
IPA style? Yeah.
The name would tell me that it's dry.
It is super dry. Mm-hmm. So for the homebrewers out there,
we're back to French.
Yes, indeed. So for the homebrewers out there, my Brewed IPA finished at 998.
Wow.
On the on the scale, yeah, super dry. Centennial Cascade hops, very low bitterness, but very high hop aroma and flavor. Absolutely beautiful beer, crystal clear, super bright. And I'm hoping to put it in 750 champagne bottles again, like I did last year.
Nice. Very excited about that.
The Brut style is my favorite style of IPA. For me, it distills IPA down to its essence. Mm-hmm. The hops really sing. The grain bill is not too sweet. It's very dry, very clean. And it's exactly the way that I want to drink an IPA. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super mad that the style didn't catch on, but I'm super excited to bring it back.
You know what I mean? It had a peak, and then it leveled out, and it's kind of just steadily been going down. But it has. And my theory, being an asshole, my theory is that it's because most of the breweries that made Brewed IPAs made terrible Brewed IPAs. Yeah, well, I will admit I had a few that were. Of the ones I had, though, none of them was like a drain pour by any means. But
no.
There were some that were all right.
Well, that's the thing.
I see they where you're going.
They weren't bad beers, but they weren't good representatives of their style,
of the actual style.
You know what I mean? And
that makes sense.
I
think
me and my opinions.
So, so we're doing that. Cork and Cage 750s.
Yeah, not cork and cage. They're going to be crown capped. So that you can pry them off, or you can saber them open, which is my preferred way of opening them. So I have my sword over there. I don't think
it's really weird. I was talking about sabering at work today.
No, nice.
Well, because we had a bottle of wine and we didn't have a corkscrew. I'm like, well, I'm not above pushing the cork in.
Right.
That's always an option. I said, but we could always saber the damn thing. And people are like, what do you mean sabering? Like,
yeah, it's got to be cold. It's got to be cold and carbonated for that, though. So it doesn't work for everything.
This is true.
But on the opposite end of the spectrum entirely, I'm doing a caramel vanilla ale, kind of like a holiday sort of winter warmer spice beer, which I'm super excited about.
Little on the dark side, malt wise.
Yeah,
SRM
it's kind of like a dark amber sort of color. Yeah, like it's kind of inspired by the Anchor Christmas Ale, but not quite as spicy. The Anchor Christmas has a lot of spruce in it and a lot of other spices.
Yeah.
This is going to be mostly caramel, mostly vanilla. It's going to be a little on the sweet side. Yes, that beer, one of the only beers I've ever bought an entire case of. That beer is so good.
It's funny because I just went through Untappd to see how many brewed IPAs I've ever had. I've had 5 of them, 3 of which I liked, 2 I did not like.
So quick story. Look, you got the big boy. Nice. Quick story about my brewed IPA. It was originally called No England IPA.
No England.
Yes, okay. Because it was my little thumb in the eye of the New England IPA craze.
Yes.
The problem was that on Untappd, if you ever look on Untappd at No England IPA, you'll see people getting upset about how this is the worst New England IPA they've ever had.
Oh, beautiful.
Which makes me laugh, but it's not great for beer sales.
No,
it's not. It's funny. Of the 3 brewed IPAs that I liked, 2 of them, and I wanted to see if I'd had yours. I had not. 2 of them were brewed by breweries that are from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
One was from Massachusetts, and the 2 that I didn't like, one was from Jersey and one was from Massachusetts. So it's that puts us even. That puts us ahead of Massachusetts in this one. So
I think my favorite of the brutes was Allagash. It's either Allagash or Omegang. I sometimes conflate them.
Yeah,
they do kind of make similar styles.
Yeah.
But I think it was Allagash.
No, my favorite one was actually it was Cane's, I think. Black tie optional.
I don't think I had that one. Kane always makes solid beers.
I can't make a bad beer, Caddy. Son of a bitch. I think he tried and failed.
Well, that's why I keep telling my customers I'm trying to make a bad beer. I just haven't succeeded yet. I'm working on it.
You're working on it. We're getting there.
I'm gonna keep practice makes perfect.
That's it.
Yeah. So, any events at the brewery over the next couple of weeks?
We're trying to fill up our 25 events for the year.
Well, you might as well get them in, right?
I mean, got a few weeks here.
The 23rd, we're doing a little Christmas party here. It's getting, pretty laid back and chill. We're gonna be doing like a ugly sweater competition. We're gonna make you traipse down the brewery so we can judge your sweater, that sort of thing. We're gonna try to have some silly games, maybe some flight specials, that sort of thing. Trivia on the 30th. We're trying to do trivia the last Friday of every month, so that's gonna be fun. We've got acoustic sets almost every Friday, which is great.
Very nice.
That's doing our best here.
Yeah, you can't do every Friday because that won't get you to through 52 weeks.
Yes. Well, the thing is, like, if it's an acoustic set, I think that's okay because the law specifically calls out amplified music.
Really? But it's as long as you don't advertise for it, it's not an event.
Right.
There you go.
Right. So this doesn't count. This is not the advertising you're looking for.
No. So I did get a text from Matt. It says it's shorts and t-shirt weather there. Nice breeze. It's perfect at 76 degrees right now. So I said, at the risk of repeating myself, I sent him 3 more middle fingers. Bastard.
That's great.
Anyway. So, yeah, all right, come out and play with us on the 23rd. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I might actually take a ride.
20.
I mean, what else do you have to do on Christmas Eve, right?
Well, I might have to shop a little extra.
Oh,
we've got a merch ball.
There you go. Get everybody Man Skirt shirts. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a Friday night. That might be. That might have to write that onto the calendar there.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird this year that
with my stolen
fall on a Sunday.
With my stolen Cloverleaf pen. I announce it every time I steal them, though.
I haven't been to the Cloverleaf in a while. How's things over there?
Very good.
We were there on Saturday.
We were there on Saturday for 6 hours. So
nice.
It was the Christmas keg tree event. They did 19 Jersey breweries.
Wow.
On tap for the keg tree event. So we were there, and
did a live show.
We did a live show with Ryan and Kyle. And then we were there later on for the lighting of the tree. Mm-hmm. So we did that live show, and then when we left around probably 5:45, 6:00, we drove down to Bird's Mouth, and because Saturday was also National Lager Day, so we did a live feed from Bird's Mouth Brewing with Andy Joya.
And what was cool about it is that you forget Greg from Source.
Greg from Source. We did last year on National Lager Day. We did it from Source, and we had Greg on. Greg just happened to show up at Bird's Mouth. Just
kismet.
Yeah, right. So we had Andy on, and Greg came on too. So now it's got to be a thing. Now next year we have to have Greg and Andy at some other brewery with some. Yeah.
And eventually we'll have like 30 brewers all on one show at National Lager Day.
Exactly.
Nice.
It'd be awesome. Though I don't think one of us will die before then.
30? That'd be 30 years from now. Well, 30
exactly.
Years from last year. So
85.
So we'll be in our 80s. Yeah, we'll be in our 80s.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'll be pushing, and I'll probably be pushing up daisies by that point.
I don't say that. That's not true.
We'll see.
That's not true. Although I will. We'll say happy birthday to him next week. My father's looking at 80, and I said something about when I'm 80, you'll be 106. Or something like that, or whatever. He said, the words out of his mouth were "bite your friggin' tongue." He goes,
who wants to live to that? That's a level of decrepitude I do not want to attain.
No, sir.
Yeah.
As it is, I make so many damn noises when I get out of a chair. It's just nope.
Don't even get me started.
And some of them actually come out of your mouth too.
Most of them are of the bones and joints, and
that's what I meant.
And every now and then, there's
jokes are funnier when you explain them.
Right. We do that for you, though, Dave. So
I warned you that I'm an asshole, so I'm sorry.
But that's what we want here. That's what we want. All right. All right.
I suppose I should go back to doing my job at some point. I have customers and things.
You have customers.
That's all right. That's no big deal. Well, we got to do our top 3 list. So why don't we get to that right now?
Oh, yeah. So, we can do that.
All right. So we have.
I did have one shout out beforehand. We talk about birthdays.
Go for it.
Happy birthday to Sean Kenny.
Happy birthday, Sean Kenny.
Sean Kenny. He's the beer manager up at I can't remember. He used to be the beer manager at the Helm. He used to be the manager at Eddie's Roadhouse. And there's another bar up there that I know he's still the beer manager of. And big craft beer drinker. Drank with him on many occasions. It's a lot of fun. He does a charity golf outing, which is really just a craft beer bottle share on golf carts.
Nice.
And we did one in Jefferson, and his cart was going down one of the hills. They took the turn a little too sharp and flipped the cart. It was awesome. We're not allowed back there anymore. Not unrelated. And when we saw fluids leaching out from underneath the cart, at first we thought it was blood, and then we realized it was beer, and we were probably disappointed.
All right.
Anyway, so happy birthday, Sean.
Happy birthday, Sean. All right. We do a top 3 list every week, Joe. Top 3 list. Why do we do a top 3 list? Well, 2 reasons. One,
why not?
We pay homage to 1933, the repeal of prohibition, right? Mm-hmm. So top 3, and we also doing a top 10 list would take too long. So
because the 3 takes long enough.
Who's got time for that?
Right. So we each do our top 3. So tonight's top 3 is top 3 favorite porters not brewed by Man Skirt.
Or
Coastal, for that matter, but yes, or Coastal. But top 3 favorite porters.
Because people could claim favoritism.
Yes, no. We're not going to put. We're not. So the grape. Yes, of course. The 3 of ours, all 3 of ours, our number 1 and number 2 are the Great Porter and Nautical Twilight. We know that, right? We know.
Actually, the Great Porter would probably be my number 1 unjunked porter.
Unjunked, nice.
Unjunked. All right.
Well,
There.
so should I just tell you my favorite porter? Is that
So we
is
should
that
go.
how
So
this thing works?
top three favorite porters. Do 3, 2,
Top
1.
three.
Top 3 favorite
Or
porters.
any order you
Well,
want.
The problem
Or
is
you go 1, 2, 3 if you want.
there are
2,
not
3, 1
there are not 3 porters out there that I feel strongly about.
Really?
This is the reason that I wanted to make a porter one of my flagships, because I feel like it is not strongly represented out there as a style.
Okay.
For me, if I'm in a liquor store and I see the Edmund Fitzgerald Great Lakes Brewing, I am buying that every single time. That is one of like, if I'm going to drink a porter that's not mine, it's going to be the Edmund Fitzgerald. It is so good every single time. And how many commercial porters can you think of? There's Zviets, but that's a Baltic porter, which is, it's a lager.
That's fine. It's a porter. You can
it's very different.
I did text John at one point, like, do we allow Baltic porters since it's a lager and not?
It's a porter.
I mean, it's a wonderful beer.
Yep.
Can I even think of another porter? I don't think so.
No.
So that's my top 2 porters. So
top
there
2
you go.
porters. So,
okay, we'll go with that.
So Edmund Fitzgerald.
That's a good one. I had not thought of that one.
And yeah, all right.
Yeah, and I don't know how to properly say it, but I say Zviet. Zwiec.
It's Jiviets.
Just go either into Manville or Wallington. The great thing, what I love about Wallington, is such a Polish town that the bars do not have Budweiser signs; they have Ziviet signs.
Nice.
Yes. Jiviets.
Right.
That's how to pronounce it. Jiviets.
Yes. Kind of rhymes with giblets.
Giblets. There you go.
Oh, it wouldn't be a show.
Are they coming for you?
No.
Clearly.
No, they're coming for my beer. No. Oh no, they've passed. They're going that way now. They're going that way. They're going to.
All right, Dave. What are your top 3?
Well, John and I always give out some
honorable mention.
So I got to give a nod. We mentioned Kane Brewing already. And the Mexican Brunch and the Morning Bell are just two beautiful, beautiful porters. I also have to give a nod to Hill Farmstead's Everett. That, the regular and the barrel age. Love them both.
By the way, I'm gonna stop you here. Okay, if you're giving nods to these breweries, giving nods to like 13 breweries in your honorable mentions, and then your top 3 are my top 3, I'm going to shoot you.
I've got 4. I've got 4.
Kidding. Anyway, that always happens, Joe.
Because we do it all the time. So John and I spoke about, should it be unjunked, should it be flavored, whatever, and we decided to go with Eddie. So rather than doing 1, 2, 3, my favorite in actually 4 different categories of porters, as far as I see them.
Go for it.
The first is the unjunked porter.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already mentioned that the Great Porter would be at the top of the list for me if it was allowed. But my favorite unjunked porter is Anchor. Anchor to me is such a bellwether porter. It's so beautiful. You measure so many porters against Anchor's porter.
Bellwether is such a good word. And Anchor's porter, thank you for reminding me. Anchor is one of my favorite breweries in the United States because Anchor Steam makes me so happy.
It is happy.
And their porter is out of this world.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're going to put that, I think, at number 2. Edmund Fitzgerald still first.
Yeah.
I'm going to revise my list. Put an Anchor porter at number 2.
What I love about it so much is it's got such a beautiful body to that beer. I think it's one of the richest, more larger produced porter that's out there. So then, British porters.
Okay.
So you got the brown porter. Right. When up near Acadia, there is this one town whose name escapes me right now. But there is a brewery there called Airline Brewing, and it is a British pub. And they do have hand engines. They got the hand pulls, beer engines, and I had their porter off the hand pull. Such a rich, beautiful, malty, but not aggressively malty porter like a British brown should be. This was a beautiful, beautiful beer. And sitting in, all the dark wood paneling that make up a British pub, with a sausage roll, you couldn't beat that experience. It's the closest I've gotten to being in England. Well, I was in England when I was 1, but that doesn't count because I don't remember anything, and I wasn't drinking beer at the time. So that was wonderful. Barrel aged porters, and one of my favorite, and I'm drinking it right now. This is my 3rd beer.
Very nice.
Shipwreck porter.
Oh, this is such a good beer. And this is a shout out to Ava at Carton, because someone had put the 3-pack of the Shipwreck aside, and after about 6 weeks never showed up. So she allowed me to walk away with it, which was
very nice. Wait, was it on Epitome Day?
It was actually on Epitome Day. Yes.
But I left. You left before me, or I left before you?
Yeah, I went downstairs, got my beer, and then left.
So you got it. So if I left before you, I could have gotten it.
No, she'd promised it to me.
Oh, she did promise it. All right.
She promised it to me. So
fair enough.
There's no way you could walk away with it. She had already promised to me. I already knew the story. And 2 weeks prior, she had promised that to me.
Fair enough.
So
fair enough.
Anyway, so then the 4th one, the 4th category is we did unjunked. So now junked, right? And one of my favorite flavored porters that is out there is made by Fiddlehead. It's called Hodad. And this has got toasted coconut in it, cacao nibs, vanilla beans, and just enough lactose in it to give it a little bit of sweetness without changing the mouthfeel, without overpowering the beer with Bolero Snort like sweetness. So this
shots fired.
Oh, we do it to them all the time. But this is a beautiful beer.
If the Lucky Charms fit, right?
If the Skittles fit, you gotta wear them. It's Hodad. If you ever get a chance, Fiddlehead's Hodad. They're known for, double fiddle and just the single IPA. But man, they can do a porter. They can do a flavored porter. And John knows full well what my favorite adjunct is in beer.
That would be coconut.
That'd be coconut. So the fact they put toasted coconut in this thing,
fair.
Such a beautiful beer.
And Dave knows what my favorite adjunct is.
That would be maple.
That would be maple. There you go. Anyway, all right, mine. Obviously, I try to stay away from New Jersey breweries completely. I just wanted to.
Reasonable.
Just wanted to. Obviously, shout out to your porter.
Always.
To the great porter.
It's a beautiful beer.
I'm going to give a shout out to Morning Bell, Sunday Brunch, Mexican Brunch, all the canes. And to obviously Shipwreck is amazing. But another carton I'll give a shout out to, Gorp.
Good old raisins and peanuts.
I'll give a shout out to Gorp as well.
But that's
is that what that stands for?
Yeah.
Good old raisins and peanuts. That's what it stands for.
There's always M&Ms in it, but
I hope so.
Yeah.
But the one thing is, I don't know if that actually counts because that is not what Carton refers to.
No, that's not what it's a porter. All right, it's what he calls it, a trail ale.
It's they call it a trail ale because they make up styles.
All right, as Joe said earlier, okay, what wasn't a style earlier that we were talking about? He says that's not a style.
Brunch style, yeah.
Brunch is not a brunch style is not a style. You know what? Highlander Weiss is not a style either. But it is at Carton. Trail ale, Belgian Truffle is not a style.
Okay, we're going to record this and play it for the man because I'm not going to say his name the second time. And
right.
we'll let you two debate.
Oh, I'm not debating. We'll
need a moderator
when it comes to Carton. No, I'm
not saying he's right. I'm just saying that he could probably debate better. Okay,
I'm going somewhere with this.
Oh, we're going to get on with it.
Right.
Shameless plug for his
tomorrow. That's tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night.
Shameless plug for his other podcast.
There you go. But in any event, yeah. But at Carton, trail ales do exist. Belgian truffles do exist. Highlander Weisses do exist. Anyway, so
this is probably why you're avoiding Jersey.
But so I'm just avoiding Jersey. Now, I always leave a backup that I throw in there. But my backup was, and I'll just mention it here, was mentioned obviously by Joe before. Edmund Fitzgerald's an amazing porter.
It is.
Edmund Fitzgerald's an amazing porter, and anytime I have the opportunity to get it, I get it. But my top three are this: number three, and you'll think that this number three should be number one for me because you know how I feel about this brewery. But my number three is Awake.
Oh, I think I still have a can of that.
From Night Shift,
Yes.
coffee porter from Night Shift. Amazing beer. I mean, roast. It's my morning coffee in a beer form, right? It's so
Nice.
I think I still have a can of it, but
my number two, Black Butte.
oh yes, the shoot.
Deschutes Brewing.
Oh,
That is
Deschutes makes some excellent beers.
That's a beautiful, beautiful.
It's a
beer.
great beer. I love
Long
that.
time since I've had that.
And that would have been my number one for this list, but
However,
here's an adjuncted beer. Okay, it's got cinnamon and vanilla in it, so it's obviously adjuncted, but it's from Finback. It's called 3 Minutes to Midnight.
Ooh, I've not had that one.
I haven't either,
An amazing,
but I've had some really good Finback beers.
Yeah, they do okay.
Yeah. So that's my number one. That just edged out, and I mean, Black Butte's it's an amazing beer. And
but have you? Had
if I had 3 minutes to midnight 8 years ago, and I've had 30 Black Buttes, Black Butte would have been my number one. But 3 minutes to midnight was just, I mean, the two actually, I had two of them that I had. They were amazing, and it's like again it's got a teeny little touch of lactose in it, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just the right, like we say all the time, right? It's like putting salt in a recipe. It just enhances it. Mouthfeel, it bolts it, brings up the right. That's all it is. So it's got that in it, but
and a little. And if you use too much of it, you've ruined it.
Yeah. So, but there's reasons. There's times and places to use a lot of it, and there's people that like it. So hey, have at it. It's all good. It's all good. But this beer,
they've been doing Black Butte for over 30 years.
Black Butte's a very, very,
they're up
very
to they're up to 34.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Yep. And they now do and it begs the question, why? They do a non-alcoholic version of it.
Get out of here.
I've non-alcoholic beers.
Wow.
I get a lot of requests for non-alcoholic beer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But speaking of requests, I am being called out.
You are.
And you need to get back to work?
Yes. I have to go back to doing my job as much as I'm enjoying sitting here drinking with you guys.
It's just about the time anyway. We finished the top three list. The only other question we have for you is there anything that we haven't mentioned? Anything coming up? What are your anything on the horizon, beer-wise, event-wise, for 2023?
Oh God, 2023. I'm hoping to do a lot more live music in 2023. I'm gonna burn through all my 25 events as fast as I can. I'm hoping to see a lot more beer in cans. Mm-hmm. We do have a canning line coming in. Don't tell anybody. That's a secret. I'm very excited about
Anybody
that.
listening to this, don't say anything to anyone.
Hear this.
You didn't hear it on here.
The jury will be instructed to ignore that statement.
Yes.
By the way, hold that thought, Joe. Matt Potensky, all the way from Mexico, just commented in. It's what the French call a certain, I don't know what.
So we can see what the lag is all the way out in Mexico.
A certain nice. I do love me an Austin Powers reference. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, so we're gonna hopefully see more cans. Fingers crossed. That would be awesome. Nice. And more events. You know, maybe we can get a little legislation passed that will allow us to do more events. That would be wonderful as well.
That'd be nice.
So we're hoping.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We're hoping.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Thank you. Thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. This was
thanks for having me, guys. I had a lot of fun. I'm sorry that I got to go back and do my job, but this was great. I really enjoyed it.
Stand by 1 second. I want to talk to you for like 10 seconds before you go back. Let me just do the outro first. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with video podcasts on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, and we will talk to you soon, folks.
Unless you're home, then have at it.
No, if you're home, drink a lot of beer, and
who cares?
Responsibility. The holidays, go for it.
Go crazy.
Enjoy. We'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.